Find your comfortable seat and just let your spine lengthen. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And a big exhale through the mouth. Close your eyes and just settle into your skin. Notice what you're feeling from the ground up. So feel your sit bones, feel the parts of your legs and feet touching the floor. And then just kind of work your way up towards the crown of your head, noticing every single part of you. Start to breathe a little slower, a little deeper. Bringing in Ujjayi breathing if that's comfortable to you. Take a moment to observe thought processes, emotions, and energy. And then let's bring palms together in front of the heart and take a moment to set our personal intention for practice. When you're clear on your intention, take a deeper breath in. Big exhale through the mouth. Hands on knees. If your legs are crossed, if your legs are extended, tuck the hands under the thighs. We're going to begin with a few torso circles. So just kind of opening up and loosening up from the hips and the low back. As you exhale, you're leaning forward. As you inhale, you are leaning back. We're going to go 3 in each direction. All right, as you finish your torso circles out, just pause. And on your inhale, push your rib cage forward. And on your exhale, pull it back. It's kind of like a seated cat-cow, but your head doesn't whip back and forth. You want to keep your chin parallel to the ground. So inhaling, chest forward. Exhaling, chest back. And then come back to the center, nice straight spine, a gentle twist, and then we're gonna get up. So I want you to just gently twist to your right. Make sure your spine is straight, your shoulders are relaxed. And then rotate around and gently twist to your left. And then come back to center, and we'll come up to standing at the front of the mat. So coming into Tadasana, just allowing yourself to really root and ground, connect downward, bring your palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, go ahead and bend your knees, fold forward, hang in ragdoll. And then plant your hands and look up and lengthen. And then back down. So we're going to step back with the left foot. Coming to a right foot forward lunge, just holding for a moment. If it feels okay in your body, take that right hand up towards the ceiling, but keep the spine long. Bring your right hand down inside your right foot. Feel free to drop the left knee if you need to. If you can, come onto left forearm, perhaps the right one as well. Keep your left forearm down if it is, and take your right hand to the ceiling again. From here, just drop your left knee down. Right hand on the inside of the right knee or thigh. Press that leg open. Get a little bit of outer hip stretch going on. And then hands on either side of the right foot as we move the hips back to fully extend the right leg and get into the right hamstring. Bend your right knee, bring the arms up and overhead. Tilt your pelvis, lift your rib cage, allow the hips to move forward. Hands come down to the mat, step back to plank. Hold your plank for a breath. So today I'm not going to mess with your vinyasas at all. You may do whatever you like. It can be gentle, it can be hardcore with chaturanga push-ups, it can be modified, whatever you need. Just follow your breath and we'll meet in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, you're going to step your left foot forward. Hold your lunge for a couple of breaths here. Right hand stays planted, left hand reaches for the ceiling. You want to keep the spine long and straight. Left hand comes down inside left foot. Remember, it's okay to drop your right knee if you need to. We're going to come onto the right forearm. If possible, get the left one down as well. And keeping right forearm down, taking left hand to the ceiling again. From here, we're just going to drop the right knee, bring the left hand to the inside of the left knee. Press that leg open a little bit, getting some opening in the left hip. And then coming up with hands on either side of the left foot, fully extending your left leg, flexing the ankle and toes, and getting a hamstring stretch on that left side. Left knee bends, arms come up and overhead, pelvis tilts, hips move forward. And then from here, we're going to take the hands down and step forward to our standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. And as you exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And then exhale, back down. You're going to step back with your right foot this time. Left foot forward lunge. Gaze forward, begin to straighten your left leg. So we're just getting a little deeper into that left hamstring. Try and keep your spine lengthening here. I'm going to be working on a little bit of spinal mobility and lengthening today. Then I want you to go ahead and bend your left knee again. We're still in a lunge. Take the hands up and overhead if you can. Pelvis tilting, of course. Remember, if you need to modify, please do. From here, I'd like you to spin your right heel flat, coming into warrior two, and then taking left hand to the ground, right hand to the ceiling. You may modify by taking your left forearm onto your left thigh. Bring your right hand down, step back to plank, flow through your vinyasa. And then from this downward facing dog, we're gonna step the right foot forward. Once you find your lunge, you're just gonna begin to straighten your right leg. Getting a little deeper into that hamstring. Remember to keep your spine lengthening here. Bend your right knee, bring the arms up and overhead. Tilt the pelvis, sink the hips a little bit. Spin left heel flat, coming into warrior two. And then taking right hand to the floor, left hand to the ceiling. Remember, you may modify by taking right forearm on the right thigh if you need to. From here, we're just going to bring the left hand down, step back to plank, and take a vinyasa. So from this downward facing dog, you can either walk or jump forward. Standing forward bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. So turn sideways and just take a moderately wide step with the feet slightly rotated out. Just gonna do a little gentle spinal tractioning to begin with. So bend your knees, put your hands on your thighs. Elbows should be completely extended, locked out. The first thing you're gonna do is press against the inside of your right thigh as you twist and look over your left shoulder. If you want more, you bend the left elbow. If you want more, right hand goes higher up the inside of the right thigh, but your right elbow must remain fully extended. Couple of breaths. And then we'll just switch sides. You come back to center. Left hand presses against the inside of the left thigh. You look over your right shoulder. To deepen it, you bend the right elbow. To deepen it even more, left hand moves up the inside of the left thigh, but you keep it locked out. 2 breaths here. Come back to the center, straighten your legs, roll your shoulders back. Move the heels out now so that you have a wider stance and your toes are pointing directly forward. Go ahead and hinge at your hips. You can either just grab your elbows or bring your hands to the floor. But what I want you to think about is lengthening your spine. So imagine that your tailbone is pointing up towards the ceiling and the top of your head is reaching for the floor. It doesn't have to get there, but that's the idea. Take a couple of breaths here. Walk your hands over to your right foot. Stretch out over that right leg. Walk your hands over to your left foot. Stretch out over your left leg. Come back to the center. Bring the feet in whatever amount is appropriate for you, trying to get the toes to point forward and drop into your yogic squat. So your heels are flat. And what I want you to focus on here is the pelvis is heavy, your tailbone is heavy, your chest starts to lift. So if you'll relax your lower body and lengthen the upper body, you're actually tractioning your spine here. If you can handle it, take 3 more breaths. On your next inhale, come all the way up. Reach the arms up and overhead, and as you exhale, come back to the front of the mat with the feet together and the palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway, and exhale, back down. We're gonna step back with the left foot, spin that left heel flat, and come up into warrior two again. This time tractioning a little deeper from our warrior two. Right hand to the inside of the right thigh. Left hand's gonna slide down towards the left ankle. And then I want you to press your right arm straight. It'll be very much like that first traction that we did. So you're trying to get your torso to drift to the left. Take a couple of breaths. Come all the way back up, warrior two. Reverse your warrior, left hand, left thigh, right arm up and over. Come all the way back up, straighten your right leg, and let's lengthen the spine for triangle, being really mindful of keeping lots of length on the right side of the spine and staying aligned over the right leg. Come all the way back up into your warrior two. Stretch out the spine by letting the tailbone drop and the heart lift. And then take your hands to the mat and flow through a vinyasa. From this down dog, we'll take the left foot forward, spin the right foot flat, and come up into warrior two. So again, deepening our tractioning here, left hand on the inside of the left thigh, right hand slides down towards that right ankle, and we press our left arm straight. Trying to get deeper tractioning, this time on the left side of the spine. Come all the way up, warrior two. Right hand on right thigh, left arm up and over, reverse your warrior. And then come back up, straighten your left leg, lengthen the rib cage out. So again, we're looking for maximum length in the spine as we come into our triangle pose. Left side of the spine stays just as long as the right. And we stay aligned over that left thigh. From here, come all the way back up, warrior two. Take the opportunity to lengthen your spine here. Let your tailbone drop and your rib cage lift. And then take the hands to the mat and flow through your vinyasa. From this downward facing dog, I'd like you to drop to your knees and let's check in with the spine and do a few cat-cows. Inhaling to arch, exhaling to round. And then as you exhale next, take it to a full-on child's pose, round your back. scoot into a very elongated sphinx, meaning elbows are much farther forward than normal. Big toes touching, of course, and heels separated. Pull, so your spine should be considerably warmer and more malleable now. So we're trying to drag some length into it by pulling through the hands. And then downward facing dog. And as you know, down dog is a spine lengthening pose. So let's maximize that. Press through very flattened out spread palms. Broaden your shoulders. Reach the tailbone back. Really reach it back, heels down. If you remember on Monday when we did active versus passive, you want your down dog to be really active right now. And then you can either walk or jump forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So for our balance, we're going to do Warrior 3. We've actually been doing quite a bit of Warrior 3, but your focus today is length in the spine. And so what I'd like you to do is elongate your spine before you ever start to lean forward and maintain that posture. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. If you can, we're going to go for the traditional hand position, which is with the arms up and overhead. Now, whether you interlace your fingers or not is up to you. I'm going to keep mine unlaced, but my fingers are spread. My arms are lifted, and I'm actually looking at my hands, and I'm going to maintain that because that keeps my back extended. We're standing on the right foot first. You get into this however you want. Some people like to bend their leg and then straighten it. You do whatever you like, but I want you to maintain this spinal alignment as you hinge at your right hip, coming into wherever you get in your Warrior 3 today. Keep your spine lengthened. Come back up. Let's transition straight onto the left foot. Chest is lifted. Arms are lifted. You don't lower your arms. You don't lower your head. You keep your spine lengthened as you hinge at your left hip. So spinal posture should not change. All that's changing is the legs. Come back up and release. Feet together, palms together at the front of the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. You can either walk or jump back. Take a vinyasa. So from this downward facing dog, depending upon your ability, I'm going to have you going into a side plank to maintain a lengthened spine. If you need to do this from your forearm or even modify it by dropping a knee, please do. We're going to roll onto the left side first. So if you're doing full Vashisthasana, you just come onto the outside edge of the left foot and let the right foot stack on top. And take your right hand to the ceiling. And then what I'd like you to do is think about lengthening the spine. Can you extend even more from your tailbone through the top of the head? Bring it back into downward facing dog. If you need to drop to your right forearm or even drop your right knee for modified side plank, that's fine. Now we're rolling onto the right side. You should be on the outside edge of your right foot. Left foot stacks on top. Left hand reaches for the ceiling. And we focus on lengthening the spine. So we're trying to get longer from the tailbone all the way up to the top of the head. Bring it back down, downward facing dog, lengthen out. And then one more time, drop to your knees. Arching around the back, notice how it's feeling. And then based on what your body is telling you, you're either going to take one final full-on vinyasa, or you can take a modified vinyasa and do that child's pose sphinx. Your choice. Whatever you do, be mindful of your spine and follow your breath. When you get to your down dog, again, really maximize the spinal lengthening here. When you're ready, you may either walk or jump forward and have a seat in Dandasana. Pardon me, legs are extended. You're on your sit bones. Your spine is incredibly extended. So that's the first thing I want you to really focus on. Feel your sit bones. Make sure they're really connected. Notice where your tailbone is and lengthen all the way up from there. Imagine that the earth is shooting energy up your tailbone and lengthening your spine all the way up to the top of the head. Then activate your legs for the full pose. Check in. How's your body doing so far? Are you still connected to your breath, and is it still deep and even? Observe your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy, and maybe even come back to the intention that you set. And then we're just going to go ahead and move into Paschimottanasana, which is a seated forward bend. Now, depending upon what your back is feeling, I'm going to trust you to do what's best for you. You can either extend forward or you can round forward. They're quite different. Your body will let you know which is best for you. Regardless of whether you're extending your spine forward or flexing your spine forward, I'd like you to make sure that your shoulders are relaxed. So don't grip through the shoulders and neck. Let all of that stay very relaxed. And then come on up from that. We're going to go ahead and take the legs wide. Make sure you're still on your sit bones. And you know the drill with this. If you need to, the hands can stay behind you. Your hands can be in front of you, on your feet or legs. They can be interlaced behind you. All I want you to focus on is extension of the spine. So imagine that your tailbone is going to point behind you as the top of your head presses forward. In other words, as you lengthen your spine and fold at the hips, you're not rounding the back, right? You're just extending and telescoping your spine as much as possible. Doesn't matter how far you get. It might look like you're sitting straight up. If your spine is lengthening and you're feeling something in your inner thighs, then you're doing it perfectly. It doesn't have to look a certain way. You just want to make sure you're extending through your spine. We're going to take about 4 more slow breaths here. So focus on lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. And then go ahead and walk your hands back up, bringing your legs back together. Give them a good wiggle. Keep your right leg straight. Bring your left foot to the inside of the right thigh and lean out over your right leg. Same thing applies here. You can either lengthen forward or round forward. Trust your body and keep your shoulders relaxed. Now we're gonna come on up from this. I want you to put your left hand, keep the left foot on the inside of the thigh. Your left hand is gonna go on the top of your left thigh. Right hand can go out to the right side of the body or wherever you would like it to be. The first thing we're gonna do is simply press the left arm straight. So your body leans to the right. It's kind of like the tractioning that we did standing, right? So you gotta get that left arm locked out. Now, the more you take your right hand to the right, the less you're gonna feel this. But once you get that left arm locked out, I want you to start trying to get yourself vertical again. And then lean forward over the right leg. Keep that left arm straight. And if you play with this, what you should find is a fairly exciting stretch in the left hip and the left side of the low back. Take 2 more breaths. And then you're gonna come all the way up from that. Pick your left foot up and bring it all the way across your right thigh. Left foot should be completely flat. We're gonna keep the right leg straight and twist to the left. So what I want you to do is have the straightest spine imaginable. If you have tight hips, you might hang on to your left leg to lengthen your spine. That's fine. Left hand is gonna be behind us. You can continue to hang on to your left leg, or you can bring right arm outside of the left leg. But from your tailbone to the top of the head, you should feel length. Unwind yourself completely. Left leg extends, give both legs a little wiggle. And then we'll keep left leg straight. Bring right foot to the inside of the left thigh. And again, just lean out however it feels best for your body. Once you have leaned out, whether that's extending or flexing the spine, I want you to make sure your shoulders are relaxed. And we're gonna come up and put our right hand on top of the right thigh. I want you to get your right arm totally straight. Remember, your left arm can be wherever you need it. So if it's way out to the left, that's fine. We're all different, right? The idea is you find the way that this works for you. So if you're already feeling something in your right hip, right side of the spine, you're great. Otherwise, keep the right arm straight and start leaning out over your left leg again. You're trying to experiment and find the place where you feel a great sensation, right side of the low back and right hip. And in order to do that, you got to keep that right arm totally locked out. Come on up from that, pick your right foot up, bring it across your left thigh. Right foot stays flat, left leg stays straight. Remember, you have to have a fully straight, fully lengthened spine. So if you need to, use leverage. Pull on your right shin if you need to as you twist to the right. That left arm can come outside the right knee or thigh if you prefer. Rotate back around. Extend your right leg. Give both legs a little wiggle. And I want you to put your hands right behind your backside. Lift your chest. So nice straight spine, like we do for Dandasana. Bring the soles of the feet together and then don't adjust. Wherever they landed is perfect. Keep the chest lifted. Press the knees out to the side and down. Take a couple of breaths here. And then keep your feet where they are. And play with this. If your hips are really tight, you might need to keep one of your hands on the ground. We're going to bring the hands to the top of the knees or thighs and press. Try and get that same tractioning. You might play with this a little bit. Again, if your hips are really tight and you feel like you're going to roll over, keep one hand on the floor. It's fine to do that. Otherwise, both hands on the knees or thighs, and you're trying to traction out just a little more. 2 more breaths. And then let your hands come to the floor in front of your feet or shins. Be very mindful of your back. But if it feels okay, you're just going to start walking your hands forward, relaxing your neck, and draping over your legs. For most of us, this is a rounded back position, so make sure it feels okay. Come on up from that. Bring the legs together. Now, as we get onto our backs, and that's where we're heading next, we're going to rock back and forth if that feels okay to you. It's a great way to align the spine. And we're even going to do it in some 180-degree half circles if you can. If your back does not like to go back and forth, you can simply rock side to side and stay there. But for those of you that it feels all right, we're going to rock back and forth, front to back. In other words, head to tail. And then if it feels okay, you're going to rock that in a half circle, 180 degrees. So you're facing the opposite direction on your mat, and then you're going to make the return journey. So you're rocking back and forth until you get back to where you started. And then you can stay on your back, hug the knees, and rock side to side. So you'll notice as you rock in those half circles that a different side of the spine is emphasized depending upon the direction you're going. All right. Once you're on your back, you've done your little side to side rock. Pardon me. We're going to do a traditional figure 4 or reclined pigeon. So I'd like you to cross your right ankle over your left knee. Flex the right ankle. Your right hand is going to reach through that triangular space made by your legs. You can either grab behind your left thigh or in front of your left shin. And then you're just going to pull your left knee towards your chest. In other words, your flexed right ankle is kind of moving towards your left armpit. You should feel this in your right glute. Make sure your neck is relaxed, your head is on the floor, and just take a few breaths. Now, as you come out of this, I'd like you to grab your right foot with both hands. Put your left foot flat. Do your best to extend your right leg. Now, if you can't extend it with your hands on your foot, you'll slide your hands down to your calf or even your thigh. Take a moment, make sure your right leg is straight and your foot is flexed, and then see if you can extend your left leg all the way out onto the ground. Just take a couple of breaths here. Hug your right knee. Pavana Muktasana. And then bring your left knee back up. Rock side to side if you like. And then we're doing figure 4, aka reclined pigeon, on the left. So your left ankle crosses your right knee. It's a wide crossing of the legs. Reach through and either grab the back of the right thigh or the front of the right shin. Left ankle stays crossed and you're pulling your right knee into your chest. Or you can think of it as pulling your left foot towards your right armpit. Go ahead and reach down and grab your left foot with both hands. Put your right foot flat. Try and extend the left leg completely. If you can't do it with grabbing the foot, grab the calf instead. Make sure your leg is straight, your foot is flexed, and then see if you can extend your right leg back out onto the floor. Hug your left knee in. And then bring your right knee back up to meet it, side to side rock. Pardon me. So today we're going to be doing therapeutic bridge lifts. Gentle inversion, really nice for the spine. Feet are flat, big toes are touching, heels are separated. The arm position with this is completely optional. So what happens as you're inhaling, you're trying to lift your spine up off the mat one vertebra at a time. As you're exhaling, you're pasting it back down. When you inhale, if you want, the arms can come up and over your head so that at the top of the inhale, you're in bridge with the backs of the hands on the floor over your head. As you exhale, you bring everything back down. If you'd rather keep your hands by your sides, that's fine. My recommendation is that you breathe really slowly and deeply so that you've got time to articulate the spine in each direction. All right, off you go. Inhaling, lifting tailbone, pelvis, low back, mid back, and then exhaling and pasting back down the mid back, the low back, the pelvis, and the tailbone. Keep going at your own speed. Wherever you're at in your cycle, you're going to add one more full bridge lift, which means one more full inhale and exhale. As you do finish those out, you can hug your knees in and rock side to side. And then a very nice, gentle, reclined twist, but we're going to make sure our spine is straight and aligned. So put your feet flat on the mat, just like we just did for bridge. Lift your bum a little bit and push it to the left side of the mat and put it back down. Lift bent knees and feet up and drop them to the right. Let your left arm open out to the left. Let your head turn to the left. So if you could see yourself from above, right now your spine would be perfectly parallel to along the sides of the mat. And that's what we want. Your spine should be super happy here. Take some slow, deep breaths, just letting go. On your next inhale, you're going to bring your legs back up. Exhale, put your feet back on the mat. You should still feel very crooked. So you're going to inhale and lift your bum up, and now we're going to swing it over to the right and put it down. Lift bent knees and feet into the air. Drop them to the left. Right arm opens out to the right. Head turns to the right. So again, perfectly aligned spine in a very gentle spinal twist. Two more breaths on this side. On your next inhale, bring your knees back up. As you exhale, put your feet on the ground. So you're still crooked. We need to straighten up. Inhale, lift your bum. Exhale, bring it back to center. All right, hug your knees in, rock side to side. Grab your feet, take a few breaths in a happy baby. Just wiggle around, see how everything feels. When you are ready, you can place your feet on the mat. Just let your knees drop open for a moment. Soles of the feet together. So we're going to do some breath-centered movement today, but we're going to do our legs like butterfly wings. So as you inhale, your knees are closing up, pointing towards the ceiling. Your feet are flat on the floor. As you exhale, your knees are dropping open, soles of the feet facing each other. Inhale, knees close. Exhale, knees open. Just continue at your own breath rate. Couple more of these. The next time that your knees drop open with the soles of the feet touching, leave them there. Let's lengthen our back for the final time today. Inhale, pressing low back into the mat. So you're tilting your pelvis back, removing any natural curve from the low back, and then you're just holding it as you breathe. When your next exhale occurs, I'd like you to relax. Allow the natural curve to return to your spine. One more time, inhale, flatten the back. Press your low back into the mat. Exhale and release. And begin to extend your legs. Separate the feet. Relax your glutes. Lengthen your spine. Lengthen your neck. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Close your eyes. Take a really deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through your mouth. And relax. So today for our Shavasana, we're just going to be walking the breath. This is actually a Kundalini technique, but it's a lovely thing to do when you've spent your practice lengthening your spine. So as you inhale, I want you to imagine that your breath is going from the top of your head all the way to your tailbone. And as you exhale, the breath comes back up the spine and out the top of the head. Inhaling all the way down to the base of the spine, exhaling through the crown of the head. Now you're going to inhale to the base of the spine, and as you exhale, your breath is going to come back up, but exit out the right arm and right hand. So your breath is actually leaving your body through your fingertips of your right hand. Inhaling to the tailbone, exhaling back up and out the right arm and fingertips. Inhale to the base of your spine, exhale back up and down the left arm, left hand, and left fingers. Inhaling to the tailbone, exhaling out the left hand. Now I'd like you to inhale all the way to the tailbone, exhale back up and down, both arms, both hands. Inhale from the top of the head to the base of the spine. Exhale down the right leg and out the arch of the right foot. Inhale all the way down to the tailbone. Exhale out the left leg, arch of the left foot. Now I'd like you to inhale all the way down to your tailbone, and as you exhale, split the breath so that it's exiting out both legs and both feet simultaneously. Finally, we inhale from the top of the head all the way down to the tailbone. As you exhale, you're going to split your breath 5 ways. Part of your exhale goes down both legs and out the soles of both feet. Part of the exhale comes back up the spine, but goes down the arms and exits the hands, and the rest exits through the crown of the head. So you're inhaling from the top of your head all the way down to your tailbone. And when you exhale, you're exhaling out the arches of the feet, the hands, and the top of the head. Allow your breath to return to the normal pattern that you're familiar with, which is breathing in and out the nose, into and out of the lungs. Just kind of settle back in to your normal breath. And then begin to feel your body on the mat. Begin to move the fingers and toes a little bit. Begin to deepen your breath. When you're ready, inhale and spread your fingers and toes, and exhale with a happy sigh as you relax them. Inhale even deeper, extend through the arms and the legs. Reach and then exhale again with a sigh as you relax. Bend your knees, perhaps hugging them into your chest for a moment. And then you can roll to your right side. Press yourself up into sitting. So as you find your seated position, feel your spine come into a nice, lengthened, aligned position. Be mindful of your spine. So our pranayama today is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to lengthen or extend our breath, but we're going to be very mindful of lengthening and extending the spine. So when you can tune into the subtle energies and movements of your breath, what you find is that when you inhale, there is an ever so slight lengthening of the spine when you're in a seated position. And when you exhale, ever so slightly, it sinks. It is one of the reasons that we sit for meditation, so that this movement, this natural lifting and lowering or lengthening and condensing of the spine can happen with each breath. I want you to simply tune in and see if you can sense that. So straight spine, relaxed shoulders, closed eyes, gentle, normal breath. And just see if you can tune into that ever so subtle movement of the spine with each natural breath. Just stay focused on the lifting and lowering of your spine with each breath. Just a few more breaths. Gentle, natural, easy breaths. And then slowly allow the palms of the hands to come together in front of the heart. Take a moment in gratitude for your spine. This is what allows you to be upright. It houses and protects your spinal cord, which is how all of your nerve signals travel between your brain and your body. It gives us the capacity to move in so many different directions. And it's also the physical counterpart of our energetic channels. So it's good for us to care for our spines. It's also good for us to appreciate the spine. Maybe even take a moment right now and say thank you to your spine. And then just take a moment in gratitude for this practice that allows us to keep our spines healthy. It also allows us to keep our minds and hearts healthy and open. Take one more deep breath in through your nose. Exhale with a big happy sigh. Bringing the palms together at our foreheads. We're reminded to stay present, to stay in the moment. Bringing palms together in front of our mouths, we're reminded to speak our truth, even when it's hard. And bringing our palms together in front of our hearts, we're reminded to keep our hearts open, to always practice kindness, compassion, understanding, and love. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Namaste.